Where do I start when I open my heart? It's never easy falling in love again. Cover my scars when I open my arms. It's never easy falling in love again. Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath. So good to share energy with you. Thank you for inviting me in. Come on in. I'm going to get a sip of water even before we begin. Hydration, guys. Thank you for inviting me in. If you're interested in working with me, you can check out all of my information in the linked description box below. Website, information, anything you need to know. Any channel songs or messages will be there too. Ask your angels first, and then you and I can do the work we need to do. Oh, guys, I've got something for you tonight. This was picked out by the angels for you because they said, for some of you, beautiful things will take flight. And if you're watching this, this is such a specific message. There's no other way to nuance it. It's not about your business. It's not about your health, sis. It is about love. It is. So if you don't want that, then this might not be your message. This is for people that are going to be taking another look. I'm hearing it's take a look. It's in a book. It's reading Rainbow. The weekend has an era that's coming to an end. It could be fabulous marketing, or it could be a wise decision. But it's a decision that's predicated on the very thing he's singing about in this song, Open Hearts. When it popped up on my feed, I remember going and thinking, how can this be that I'm catching this when it's first released out into the world, in this regard anyway, like visually? In its infancy, I took a screenshot. It's probably on my community page because I couldn't believe the low numbers at that stage because it's the weekend. He has songs that are billions of times viewed. How could I catch this after a few seconds, minutes, an hour maybe into this release? But it's because the angels tapped me because they wanted me to bring you this message today about open hearts. Whew. And how we have to learn new roads to take. That's what I'm hearing to tell you. The song seared through me. When I was reading the comments, one comment really, really captured me, and I thought, this is definitely for the collective. Someone said, because he's leaving at the end of the song, it closes, we'll go right to the end before the beginning, and it says the weekend, and then words start to evaporate, and a little at a time the words just spell the end, because the end of a chapter is here for Abel Tesfaye, is that his last name? And a new one is beginning. And I felt like that was a very similar transition for many of us here in the collective. If you're ready and if you want to, there is love again for you. But even if you're not ready for that, maybe you need to listen to this to ask yourself, if you prayed for it and you get it, can you handle it? Is it really what you wanted? How do you process it? How do you manage it? Because what we need to address, you know that show, the First Wives Club? It ain't easy. or I don't know, one of the songs. It's, who is in there? I think it's Bette Midler and Goldie Hawn. Stay tuned. I have a beautiful message coming up. Couples goals, where we're going to be examining couples and their zodiac signs and their partner and their zodiac signs, and we're going to be talking about some of my favorite couple goals and why, and talking about their time together, etc., etc. Anyway, that's going to be a good juicy video. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell are amongst the couple goals, but they were in this movie First Wives Club, I do believe. Goldie Hawn, Bette Midler, someone else. Diane Keaton for sure. In any case, you don't know me, you don't own me, you don't own me. Don't tell me what to say and don't tell me what to do. They sing that song in that, I think, or it's somewhere. I don't know. I don't know why I have that association or memory. Someone tell me if I'm wrong about that. If I can find the clip, I'll put it below. What I want you to know, sidebar here, I got lost on a tangent. What I want you to know about this is that there is this whole situation happening where you have done love before and you are questioning about if there's more. So this is for my second timers. This is for my once that readies. This is for my I thought I had this. This is for people that maybe have never had the real thing fully, or maybe you thought you had the real thing and now there's a thing that's realer than you thought it could be. All of that stuff. This is for anybody who's that kind of sappy. So there will be different subsects for you. But that's what Abel wrote this song for. And in it, they said the end. And at the bottom, they said, goodbye, the weekend. Hello, Abel. And that ties into the song as well. And that was the point I was trying to make, is that everything about this song is about having good love and the path that you can take when you're on it. This man that has lived to write some of the most morose, dark, and absolute shadow-laden songs that we've ever heard. So many of us have a soundtrack in our head of the weekend. And now there's a love that steps in. And I know, as a channeler and as a professional intuitive empath, it's happened. The mirror is here. As it above, so below. He brought it from the 5D to the 3D. This is a love that he knows. Currently, that's what I'm channeling, that caused him to start to see life differently, from the discordant tones of dissonance and angst and cocaine to this place where he is bloodletting his pain, and he's doing it so that he can be free. He's not doing it for another parlor trick. He's not doing it to remain shadowy. He's doing it because something has come in, or someone specifically, that challenged he to move from the life of being the infinite party to being able, just one man, just one mic, just he. That only happens when love challenges thee. And for those of you listening, that's a challenge that you're going to have to see if you're up for. He asks questions, he makes statements, he declares. And when I see the work that he's doing, and we're seeing it out here, that he would want to end the era, even if it's marketing and he sings for the rest of his life, it is so poignant, because this is exactly what it feels like before you take flight. He had a deal with Apple. And so there was this visual that was really cool when the beat drops out. And again, the way he's channeling Ascended Masters. You hear people talk about Ascended Masters, and Ascended Masters are people that were on this earth and they did something exceptionally well. So we can think of like Ascended Masters, Buddha or Muhammad or whatever, but for Abel, I'm thinking more Michael Jackson, I'm thinking more David Bowie, I'm thinking more Prince. They all walked so that Abel could run and sprint. And my God, today, the pop synth 80s, 70s, the absolute synergy. He's channeling the muse beautifully. And he's doing it in a way that only happens when you're dealing with real healing, real chakra alignment. And it is deep. A real Kundalini awakening, real tantric connection. But the question he's asking is, do I have what it takes to do this again? Because in his life specifically, I'm sure he's seen love and romance from every angle. But in our lives, we have it from our experiences too. But what we have in common with Abel is that we're sullied as well, to a degree, or this song doesn't resonate easily. Loving people, for me, was always easy. As a Leo and a fifth house energy, that's what I'm here to do. I teach it all the time. I talk about it all the time. I write about it. I practice it. But you don't realize until you've been through many dark nights of the soul and or tower moments how you slowly calcify over time and become jaded. What Abel channels here is the realization that yes, there are moments and there are places that are still tender, or maybe I don't even understand. But I can't just be here on the spinning rock without some kind of plan and some kind of opportunity to grow exponentially. And that usually happens in partnership. If you want it to happen, then that can be, for a lot of you guys, part of your destiny. One of my favorite creators on here always talks about women and men trekking the tundra looking for their partners. They're so miserable when they don't have a partner, is kind of her take on it. It's like everybody just like kills themselves and maybe puts themselves in these relationships that are not healthy and whatever. And there's something to be said for that. Shout out to her. Good sense if you're watching this. Shout out to her. There's something to be said for that. But here's the thing. Some people do like partnership, and some people do want partnership, and some people pivot in partnership, and some people are destined for partnership, and some people have assignments, because that's how we learn and grow. Even if you're the most hermit of hermits of hermits, we connect through human experiences. And so that's why you crave it. If you're questioning, why can't I kill off this thing in me that desires love, that desires to open my heart again? It's because it's designed in you to connect, friend. To connect. It doesn't matter to who. It doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be platonic. But there is a thing in you that is calling it. And it's not because your life is incomplete. You guys are bad AF. You're out there. You're independent. You're smart. You're self-sufficient. I'm so proud of you. But yes, there's something in you. There's a heartbeat, because there is a call. There is this desire, and it's to align you with whatever your next mission is to some degree. What Abel says so beautifully is, it's never easy falling in love again. Specifically, I just love this. And I'll start again where we began. This is the second verse. He says, hold on guys. Trapped inside a limbo, watching through the window of my soul. Suffering, I've been low, then I see your halo. That's so interesting to me. We often, earth angels are dispatched in, and he could be singing that to us, and not him, but whomever your he or she was could have sang that to you, but maybe they took for granted the work you did do. Maybe they took for granted. Check out my cartomancy. I'm talking about what were you dealt in love, and there's an aspect in that reading where I talk about that, where people just didn't appreciate what it was. And when you're in this world and you feel kind of isolated and by yourself, and you see someone's halo, maybe you recognize it, or someone sees you and sees your halo and recognizes it. It's like, it's so beautifully described, suffering, I've been low. Then I see your halo. When you've been down bad, but then there's like a hand to help you up, or there's an energy, and or there's a person, and there's, all the things, synergy, chemistry, all the words. There's this kind of like, you are. He says, alive again, as he goes on. Suffering, I've been low, then I seen your halo. He said, falling angels, call my name. I think this is so powerful. Karmics call your name. Exes call your name. In-laws call your name. Parental units. Narcissists. People under the DSM umbrella of insanity. You know what I mean? All these things call your name. And then he says, but the things you say, and the you would be the halo on the angel, okay, keeps me. And I love that he says keeps with an S, not keep me alive. Continually. Life-giving, sustenance, kundalini, energy, tantra, exchange, building, accelerating, growth, independence, interdependence, codependency. See, that's a beautiful thing about love, is you get to balance it out as you see fit for it to be. Falling angels call my name, but the things you say keeps me alive again. Keeps me alive for another day, whatever he says. And he goes on to say, where do I start when I open my heart? It's never easy. Falling in love again. Collective. He is speaking to us. Abel wrote a song for you. He wrote a song for you. He knows too. We all do. If you have a heart, if you have ever had this experience, you know what this is. It's never easy falling in love again. The chord that he switches into is the perfect way to convey the feeling of anticipation and maturity and awareness. We have an awareness of what it is and what it isn't, what it can be, what it feels like to be in that disappointment. And in efforts to shield ourselves, well, he speaks about it in the next line. He says, cover my scars when I open my arms. Oh my God. It's never easy falling in love again. I never thought, even for me, with my placements that I spoke about, that I would ever not think love was easy. I could do it in my sleep. It's my favorite thing. It's my first love language. It's love. It's love. Do you want it in your candy sweets? Do you want it in your black eyed peas? Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it. I love it. I love every single nook and cranny of it. But after you go through the tower, it's different. It hits different. It feels different. You're not as eternally optimistic. I'm channeling the movie Eternal Sunshine. Something of the Eternal Sunshine. Anyway, someone needs to watch that movie. There's something happening. Something from a past life. Something you remember. Flashing lights. Flashing lights, a rearrange, a programming, a download. If you've been noticing blinking lights to any degree, there's a message in there coded. Someone should be working on their light language. I'm getting goosebumps on the left side of my head right now. Someone needs to be working on their light language to help nurture. Wow, that's strong. Wow. Ooh. Someone needs to be working on their light language. So maybe that's something you need to go look into. Blinking, flashing lights. They're programming you. Or they're reprogramming you. One of the things, I don't know who that was for, you're being programmed, so they want you to know. One of the things that comes up here is they're reprogramming you because of what you've seen with this. You're being reprogrammed. Says, okay, I get it. You're being reprogrammed. What they said to me was that you, because of what you've been through, there's malware in you, is what I just heard. Oh gosh, that was so interesting. There's malware in you from other people's spiritually transmitted demons, whatever the case may be, because they've left you sullied. That was their energy. They had disappointments. They didn't believe in love. That wasn't you, is what I'm hearing. And I'm just getting a bit of a channel reading here. I thought I was just going to do the message from Abel, but okay. And so what they want you to understand is that that's why it doesn't feel the same. Also, what they're channeling to me too is the Fool card in Tarot, which is all about a new beginning. But the way that I describe the Fool card is like the proverbial 18-year-old ready to strike out at the world, thinking, nothing could go wrong. And when I see the Fool card, when I'm pulling in any querent spread, I'm looking at the fact that what it really is dealing with now is that you have the gusto to do something again, like you could, but you have the wisdom. So I don't know that this is all bad. I think that it's good to be circumspect. I think that you learned a lot in your lessons from those scars that you had to cover. But, the Weekend is still working through his evolution and coming out of whatever existential crisis that provided us with a decade's worth of the most incredible soul-setting music and also soul-searing. But the thing about it is for you, there's this other work to do, which is not to cover your scars when the love is new. I want you to try something different this time. That's his inclination. And it's also yours and mine. But as the Earth Angel Collective, that is the overachiever, amazing people that I know you are, maybe do it differently. Maybe say, these are the scars. And not in a trauma bond way, but so that someone can begin to have real intimacy with you before the love or the game of love I heard you play. I feel like we are naturally guided to withhold when we feel triggered or maybe trolled, depending on what's happening. But that has a lot to do with the past. And this is new light and new energy that's coming in. When this song plays for you, when you listen to it, you'll hear. Just feel into it. Just listen. Give it one listen. Sonically, I feel like this is, to some degree, rearranging you. It's insane. It's sonically insane. He's just a genius, truly channeling muses, truly working with ascended masters, truly has angels that are dispatched in to help with his creativity. But this was a brilliant offering, and it's an offering that could only come from Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby, which is love, for our Mr. Abel. I think he found it. He found love in a hopeless place. He was in the Chronicles of Narnia somewhere out in the forest. I don't know. He found love. So we can find it too. But this is what it sounds like when it's coming back around for you, because you've already been through and you have some scars. The other person might just have the salve to help those things start to really disappear. They'll always be there, though, and that's okay. But we cannot let some scars get in the way of stopping us from loving another day. I'm channeling something from Vaughn. I guess I'll die another day. It's not my time to go. The sky's falling. And the weekend, or really Abel, wants you to know you dodged the falling angels. You healed a great deal of your heart. And even if you're not ready for having someone right next to you, maybe you're ready to do the inviting in part, just so that you can be in alignment for when they do show up for you. Because if you're in this collective, surprise, 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 then loving's what we do. Not just because it's what you do, but here on Evolving with Monette, it's my lifeblood. It's what I do. So if you've been watching these messages and they resonate with you, you're not destined for singlehood, mama. That's not what you signed up for. You're not destined for singlehood, sir. There's going to be a girl in your world, or there's going to be a man in your camp, in a good way. Someone who cares about the things you have to say, and also someone who's going to help you to elevate. I'm here to elevate, elevate, elevate. Hey. Someone who's going to upgrade you, and someone who you can upgrade to. We're looking for mutual relationships when we're opening our hearts again to someone else's. You learned a lot when you were 18 and striking out. You learned a lot in the middle of your life. You learned a lot from the last great escape you made. I said, put down your arms. When you're ready, because you will not be played, because you have a spirit team working with you too. So even if someone, just for the happenstance, for my skeptics and my doubting Thomases, if someone goes rogue, guess what happens? You go back to exactly what you did before, what you needed to do. And I know that that's not an ideal outcome, but I'm saying it as a disclaimer because it's so minute for so many of you. When you're ready for a party of two, those open hearts will do the work they need to do, and you will know it's right because the person's heart will be open too. Halos for two. That's work that we are called to do. I'm getting a lot of downloads about that. So understand that Abel wrote this song for you. He knows. That means that the higher realms know, because they gave him the message and the information to get to us. That means that your spirit teams know. That means that universally it's known that this is the experience once you've been thrown off the horse of love. It's hard to get back on. It's hard to maybe sometimes get back up. But we find this place in us because it's part of our makeup where we figure out how to dig back in and go past the tough to the softer parts, to the softer skin, to the supple place where we give someone else another chance and some grace. I don't want you to make it your mantra that it's not easy, because I think for Earth Angels, we were spared greatly of dastardly destinies with people that did not mean us well, ne'er-do-wells, to say the least. So at some point, you have to know that you get to intersect the sweetest of sweet. Open your hearts and start to make your peace. So good sharing energy with you. Drop your hearts down below. Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.